I just forgot an image. That's right. Pre-graphic teaser, everybody. So before we get started, lots of fun stuff to discuss. First off, I want to say happy birthday to June. I hope you had a great day. I saw that before the stream started, June checked in, aptly named, by the way, since her birthday is in June, and said she would watch the stream after she woke up, because where she is, it was very late in the day already. So June, I saw your note, and I just wanted to say happy birthday. Well, at least by the time you see this, your birthday will have been completed, but I hope it was a great one. And then as I saw many people commenting on, of course, it's important to acknowledge that today is Juneteenth. So happy Juneteenth to everyone. Very important holiday here in the United States. It's now an official federal holiday. Many people have off from work and school. And it's interesting, when I was looking at the coverage for the box office this weekend, a lot of people in Hollywood were trying to say this was a 4-day weekend. And it's certainly a holiday weekend, but I don't really think that it's a movie-going holiday, especially because it's a new holiday. So I think it's a combination of, people are, still really, hasn't faded. Like, once a holiday's been around for such a long time, like President's Day and stuff like that, eventually it becomes a day off. But I think at this point, people, of course, I think are really, as they should be, and hopefully always will, really paying importance to the why the holiday exists, and what it stands for, and to really pay attention to that. It's the official end of slavery, for those of you who are wondering, if you're not in the United States, what Juneteenth is. So I think it's a pretty crucial holiday, and I think it's really more for celebrations in the community than going to see a movie. One of you mentioned The Blackening came out on Friday, I think probably to capitalize on that holiday. That makes more sense to me. But, so I think that's, I don't think that this is a movie-going holiday weekend, and it shouldn't be, and it's certainly not. Hey, Juan. So anyway, so yes, Juneteenth, very important day, and I hope that those of you, people, it's important to you, and I hope that it's a good holiday. All right, so yes, I saw that the Craven trailer has been leaked, but I'm not allowed to cover the Craven trailer until it comes out officially. Not only because Sony would be very upset with me, rightfully so, but because you never know for sure what the actual trailer is going to be that comes out on Wednesday. There's different cuts for international and domestic, and so I shall cover it when it is officially released. I heard Wednesday, although who knows at this point, because it leaked, they could maybe release it tomorrow. So nice to see everybody. The first thing that I want to do, as always, for starting a week of streams is gift some memberships, baby. All right, membership gifting. Here we go. The first stream of every week, I gift 5 memberships. You guys have been you're always so generous. But this month in particular, you were incredibly generous. Hold on. Here they come. And I saw that somebody else gifted a membership. Juan, yes, Juan, thank you for gifting a membership. There they go. 5 memberships. And I think so far in June, a little over 1,500 memberships have been gifted this month alone. So you guys are incredible. I gifted like 20 of those because I do 5 a week. And so that's incredible. So that you guys your generosity, of course, is really impressive. So by the way, if you want to get gifted a membership, just to remind you, the way that it works is that it goes to people who are more engaged with the channel. So if you watch all the videos, if you're a subscriber, if you've been a member before, if you comment a lot, then you're more like YouTube sees that you like the channel, huzzah, and feels you would appreciate a membership. So that's what they do. Look, wow. Smart Girl gifted a membership. Thank you. Always nice to see your smile. Wardrak gifted 5 memberships. That's so generous. And Boab is back again with another 20 memberships. Boab, you are extremely generous. And Matt gifted, Matt Damon, another spell, I think, is that the same spelling? Gifted 1 membership. Thank you. Your new movie, Oppenheimer, looks fabulous. And Tammy, Tammy, always so nice to see you, gifted 5 memberships as well. So kind. You guys are really nice. Oh, yes, and as Poke said, if you want to like the stream, and if you want to maybe subscribe to the channel, I would certainly appreciate it. All right, so let's get started. We have some great stuff. Oh, thank you, Art Lover, for gifting a membership. That's a cool picture. Let's get started. Please keep your comments to what we are discussing until the end of the stream, when there will be the Ask Me Anything portion. Then you can ask me anything that you want. Also, while I'm chatting about the story, I might not be able to answer your super chat particularly. So be careful about when you put a super chat up there. I just want you to realize that you're risking it not getting answered if you don't wait for when I've opened. And I'll open it up at the end of each story to questions and comments about that story. But just keep that in mind while we're cooking. Hey, Lloyd Lester. NJC, you got a green diamond. You got an emerald. Ooh, 3 years. Happy anniversary to us. All right, here we go. We're booping, baby. Boop. Avatar: The Last Airbender. Now, these images were shared at Tudum, which is the name, the alliteration of the sound that the Netflix logo makes whenever it comes up. I don't know why they continue to hold these events on a Saturday. I think it's really annoying. It makes it almost impossible to cover. And the Saturday that Flash was out. And it's too much. And I wish they would pick a boring time to release this stuff. But they don't. And so, hey, Jay, so they weren't able to really release a whole lot of stuff. It wasn't able to get a ton of coverage. Although they did get pretty good viewership. So some of the headlines that came out of Tudum was that FUBAR, as many of you pointed out in Movie Math yesterday, FUBAR is getting a season 2. I was like, I wonder if it'll get a season 2. And in the comments, a lot of you were like, did you not see Tudum, Grace? They had an announcement for FUBAR season 2. So Arnold is getting paid. And then also the headline that I thought was the coolest, was that Linda Hamilton, speaking of Arnold Schwarzenegger, Linda Hamilton, of course, from his famous Terminator franchise, and hers too. That's right, Paul. She's going to be in Stranger Things 5. So that's pretty great. They haven't brought in a lot of women from, actresses from classic films. They focused more on like Paul Reiser and Matthew Modine and stuff like that. So I think it's really great to see some women getting in there, and Linda Hamilton's a great get. So I'm excited about that. Maybe, part of me feels she could be, Winona, obviously. But I feel like they could have brought maybe some more in. But I think Linda Hamilton's great. Maybe she's like an older person who, has power. It was experimented on. Maybe she's 11 in a fast forward sequence. Oh, I'm excited. Hey, Kamau, thanks for joining. All right, so those are the cool kind of other headlines that came out. But they had some trailers like Heart of Stone, where Gal Gadot was getting her extraction on. I was like, Netflix, how many times are you going to remake the same movie? And they're like, as many times as people will click on it. And the answer is quite a bit, because people sure clicked on that J-Lo movie. And that was pretty much the same thing as well. Hey, Ruben. So let's talk about this first look, all right? So I think everybody was surprised at how good it looked. Well, first let me bring up the original characters. There they are from the animated series. I think this is fan art. It was very hard to find a picture from the show of everybody together. And this was the nicest one that I could find. I thought it looked pretty good. I'm a huge Avatar fan. Oh, poll time. And by the way, even if you're not a member, you can vote in a poll. All right, so are you familiar with Avatar: The Last Airbender? Like for a while, this was some hot stuff. Like really, really hot. So, oh my God, yes. Then I watched it, but I don't remember it. I don't remember like every single thing. I remember the big stuff though. But I don't remember. Then, hold on, I misspelled remember. And then never seen it. There you go. It's a fabulous show, and they brought it back like a new series with Korra, The Legend of Korra, which was incredible. It was so good, and that was very popular, and also had some strong LGBT representation. Although, if you might recall, there was a bit of a scandal that because they decided to do LGBT representation, they moved that show to digital only. Like before, like digital was a thing. It was like airing on like Nickelodeon.com, and it was nuts. We all had to go on Nickelodeon.com to watch it, and it was insane. But it would trend. It was such a big deal. It was like a really, really a popular series. And then it unfortunately went away for a while. Now, they were going to do an Avatar. They're doing this Netflix Avatar live action show. And the problem is, though, that the creators left. The creators left the show. They said they had things that they couldn't get over with Netflix. And so all of us assumed that this was going to be hot garbage because we were like, they left. So it must be awful because why else would they leave? And also, that's right, Mika, the M. Night Shyamalan movie was a disaster. I did that junket and it was crazy to talk to him and he had no idea how bad it was. That was really weird. You know, like it's really weird sometimes, like to talk to, you know, and you interview some of these people and they have absolutely no idea what, like the shitstorm that's coming their way. You're like, wow, the lack of self-awareness here is incredible. How can you not see it? So it's very weird. So yeah, so it's a very popular thing. And it's so popular that the Avatar creators left the Netflix live action show and have started their own studio, Avatar Studios, over at Paramount, and they're in the process of telling their own stories in the Avatar universe. Continuations and exploring the mythology and focusing on other avatars that we've gotten to meet briefly in the show. And they're making 3 movies, some of them, if not all of them, intended for theatrical release. So this is going to be like an Avatar war over the same brand, not to mention Avatar versus Avatar, because James Cameron's Avatar is now still very popular again. So it's kind of, I think they're going to have to, I would think they would come up with a different name for this, but neither side is blinking because they already have established fandoms. So they're like, yeah, it's Avatar. And they're like, yeah, we're Avatar Studios. And James Cameron's like, my movies make $2 billion apiece. And these people, both of them are like, we're not blinking. We don't care. So who's my favorite character, Grayson? We'll do a vote. But I'll tell you right now, it's Toph. 1000% Toph. I love Toph. She has the coolest power. I would want to be a metal bender. That's an extension of earth bending. It's the coolest thing I've ever seen. As soon as I saw it, I was like, that's for me. And I loved her daughter in the Korra series. If you've never watched this stuff, you got to watch it. By the way, one of the directors who worked extensively on The Last Airbender worked on Spider-Verse 2, Across the Spider-Verse. That's right, Lin Bei Fong. Oh, such good stuff. Such good stuff. Now let's look at some of these pictures. All right, now so that's the original there. Well, let me see what the vote is so we can have other votes. So I'll end the poll. And 63% definitely watched it. Only 24 have never seen it. That's not bad. And 11% don't remember it. But still, that means that 74% of you watched the show. That's really strong. All right, so let me do who's your favorite character. But it has to I only have 5 votes. So we'll say, who do you think looks the best? Everyone likes Azula. That's Zuko's sister. All right, hold on. So we've got Aang. You'll see them in a minute. Katara, Sokka, and Zuko. All right, so here they are. Wow, look how good they look. They look really, really good. Let me close the story thing. So that's how they look on this show. And they have the correct ethnicities, which was a big problem with the movie. There was a problem with whitewashing and stuff for that. So there was a bit of an issue. So that is Zuko on the top left. You can see he even has the scar around his eye. I think he looks pretty good. That is Katara. You can't quite see it in this photo, but she's water bending. That's her brother, Sokka, in the bottom left. And then Aang looks pretty freaking adorable. I think to me, it's a toss-up between Aang and Sokka. Sokka looks pretty great. I think is the Sokka actor white? I believe that he is multi-ethnic. I mean, it looks like a good cast to me. And of course, Toph isn't here. Talon, Sokka is eating the camera, for sure. He's smizing. Tyra Banks would be proud. Toph isn't here because Toph didn't show up until the 2nd season, or book 2 of Avatar: The Last Airbender. So that's why you're not seeing her. Now, one of the things is, that's why I was bringing in this picture, okay, so you could see it. I think a lot of us were like, when are you going to tell the story of them when they get older? Because that's something that was revealed with The Legend of Korra, because that took place many years after the original show. So that's what they looked like when they were older. Let's do a full shot because it's so cool. It's so freaking cool. Hold on, let's look at it. Oh my God, it's amazing. So there's Aang and Katara, who became a couple because there was some flirtation there, even though I believe she's it was a little weird in the animated series because he seems so much younger than her, but I ship it. It's fine. There's Toph in the middle calling us out because she's so cool. You can see she doesn't have any shoes on because she earthbends sometimes, connecting to literally the earth. Then you can see Zuko and Sokka looking pretty freaking awesome. I don't know why they aren't doing a movie, live action or animated where they're adults. I don't really have much of an interest in seeing the story told again, quite frankly. But, maybe they feel this will be a good way to expand the audience. I'll certainly check it out and cover it, although it's going to be weird to get back into the mythology because it's been a while. It's whew, and there's a lot of it because, they told so many stories about it at this point. To prep, are you going to watch all 3 books and The Legend of Korra? I mean, that's a lot. But I guess I'm watching Rebels, so bring it on. But yeah, it's a really good show. If you've never seen it, I mean, I don't know if I would recommend that you watch it at this point because you're going to go probably maybe watch this live action version. I'm sure Percy Jackson is maybe watching this very closely because I'll be curious to see if, Stranger Things did very well with the child cast, but it had adult characters as well. Rob, I don't believe that any of these characters are LGBT. That was in The Legend of Korra, where Korra herself was LGBT. They're doing a movie of them with adults, Zev? Yeah, I think that was a rumor floating around. I will watch the heck out of that. But I think that a show that's just all children, I don't really know if that can get the same appeal that maybe the show of them as adults could. I think, and it's going to be just such a big commitment. But, we'll see what happens. We'll see. I wouldn't have done this. I wouldn't have made this. I think it's, a lot of money that Netflix is putting on the line. But let's see. I think it'll be extremely important what the action sequences look like and what the VFX look like. That, to me, will be by far and away the most important aspect of this. Rodrigo, you found me because of my Korra reviews? Oh, that's awesome. Yeah, I was breaking down that show every week. It was fantastic. Mika, Cowboy Bebop is an interesting comparison, which was also a retelling. Who cares? Just tell me news stories. I mean, I just think it's weird to have to, not only, James, do the VFX have to be good, they have to be used extensively. I don't want to watch this show if they're just talking and barely use their powers. The great thing about the animated series is that it was chock full of action and bending. Now, for those of you, it just occurred to me, 24% of you haven't seen this show. So the way it works is that you can bend the elements, right? So there's earth, just like the song, or the music group. Earth, wind, fire, and water, okay? And you can bend the elements, and for instance, if you can bend water, you can make ice. So that's really cool, right? Earth can then go for and bend metal. Now, they're all benders here, except for Sokka. Sokka's not a bender, so he's kind of like the regular guy. He does some action stuff. But Aang, though, is the avatar. And the whole point of the avatar is the avatar can use all the elements. The avatar can bend all elements and can reach the avatar state, which is pretty freaking cool, where their eyes glow white and they can use, and they're supposed to keep peace in the land. It's really a great show, but there's a lot of world building. I mean, how are they going to do all these sets? It's going to be extremely expensive. So it's a very big roll of the dice. And it's pretty amazing that Netflix is continuing with it, considering that the creators of the show, who are extremely ingrained in this fandom, said it was so horrible they had to leave. So we'll find out. All right, let's see what the poll is, and then I'll answer any of your questions about this. All right, so it's pretty divided, which I think is pretty cool, although Sokka was last. Look at that. Sokka's at 13. 35% feel Aang looks the best, followed by Katara, then Zuko, but it's pretty close. Aang does look pretty great. Aang looks like he leapt right out of the animated series. All right, so let's do the questions here. Wardrak says, it seems like Netflix has some relationship with Paramount because the next SpongeBob movie will be on Netflix. I also hope this show isn't so serious because the comedy is huge. That's true. It's hard to find talented child actors who can handle all of that. Let's see here. Heather says, why all these retreads? Can't Netflix try some other IP? Well, I think because Avatar was so big and Netflix is always looking for the next big thing, right? Katie Lady says it's Sokka. Sokka? Okay, thank you. I always mispronounce Sokka. It was a whole thing, even when I was covering the show. I apologize. Let's see here. Andrew says, my boyfriend is Tibetan and was disappointed that Aang isn't being played by a Tibetan actor, as the air nomads are heavily inspired by Tibetans, and Tibetan actors have minimal representation in Hollywood. I can see that disappointment, honestly, but at the same time, to find a child Tibetan actor who knows English and can do action, I think that's like a needle in a haystack. You know, I mean, I'm not saying they looked, but I think it's maybe a little bit understandable. I think that level of accuracy is hard to do. Maybe if I were the producers, I'd try to get a Tibetan actor in somewhere else. Let's see here. Grayson, I do like Azula. I do. Let's see. A lot of you remembering the Cabbage Guy. Mika, I don't know where Invisible Season 2 is. It's taken forever. And so is Harley Quinn. Xana Dude says, as interesting as Avatar looks, it feels like One Piece got way more interest since this. What do you mean? I'm not sure what you mean about that. Then Aided Buffalo says the Sokka character brought membership to a native community. He is not native, he is just white. Well, I mean, if you feel that way, I certainly respect that. I cannot speak to that actor's ethnicity, but it's important that people feel represented with this for sure. Danny says, Grace, you need to watch more animated shows. I watch a ton of them. I watched Arcane. I watched Castlevania because you guys pointed out how good it was. I watch Blood of Zeus. I watch a lot of stuff. Let's see here. Vincent says, Grace, dying to know, why aren't you as excited for live action Avatar The Last Bender as you are for How to Train Your Dragon, which is a slightly newer... I'm not excited for either one to retell the same stories that I've already watched. To me, what's more interesting about How to Train Your Dragon is Universal copying Disney. That, to me, is what I think funnier. That's why that's a little bit more interesting to me personally. But for both of these, I wish they would just tell new stories in the space with aged-up versions of the characters, quite frankly. Let's see here. Ali says they just need to do Uncle Iroh right. Yeah, I agree. I don't know how they're going to do these ships. I'm going back, Salvador. Hold on. I don't know how they're going to do the ships. I don't know how they're going to do all this stuff. Thank you, Daniel. Let's see here. What did I miss? If you asked a super chat before I got to this section, I might not be able to get back to it. Lucas, congratulations on your engagement after 7 years. That's amazing. I'm so happy for you. Oh, here it is, Salvador. Grace, the actor that plays Sokka, is white. He even pretended to be of a different ethnicity to get the role. Well, that's awful. Well, I'm glad I found your super chat. Well, that's canceled. The whole thing's a waste of time. I don't know why they didn't recast him. He's serving horrible behavior. That's what he's serving. Forget it. I'm over that guy, if that's true. Raphael says, the weird thing is that Aang and Katara should end up together. He looks too young to catch up to her. Oh, that's an interesting point. Yeah. That's a little bit like in Sleeping Beauty when they told Prince Philip he was betrothed to a baby. And he was like, what? There, he's like, the problems of royalty. All right, let's see here. And then Whelm says, so what's it going to take to add Young Justice Season 4 to your animation list? They'd have to do a live action movie of it. It's just nobody's paying attention to it. So I just have so much other stuff I have to watch for coverage and stuff. A lot of you, like Nicholas, are nervous to see what Appa looks like. That's like the giant buffalo that they ride. It's a white buffalo. It flies through the sky. It's very cute. Lloyd Lester says, Grace, will the live action series cover all 3 seasons of Avatar? Or will it focus on specific story arcs? I think they're just from what I saw, they're legit just redoing it. So it would be 3 books again. But it's going to be embarrassing if they have to stop. I mean, they have to take the time. The whole problem with the movie was that they tried to put a whole season into one movie, and it was stupid. CJ, I see you. I don't want to watch it. I feel bad. I don't want you to get your hopes up. He's a sky bison. That's right. Alistair wants to go to the next story. All right, 1 second. And Sufyan says, would you prefer if the Avatar studio movies kept 2D animation or used the Spider-Verse style? I want them to do whatever they want to do because I trust them. I think they're very good at what they do, and I'm excited about seeing the action. And I thought it looked really good in the series. You know, you guys are really cute with the booping. All right, 1 second. And I just thought the show looked so good the way it was. I just want more of that, quite frankly. All right, Sophia's like, yes, let's move on. All right, you guys, you want to boop? Let's boop. Let's boop this popsicle stand. All right, so story number 2. Boop. Oh, you're gonna like this one. So this is actually from last week. This was an article in the New York Times, and I wanted to cover it because I thought it was just so incredible that Universal is making so much money off of something that we've been discussing for 3 years in Movie Math. On Movie Math, we've talked about how Universal has shortened the theatrical window in many cases to just 17 days. And putting the movies on digital for very high price points, $25 to rent, $30 to buy. And some other studios have even been following suit, not so much in the shortened windows, but you know, whereas Warner Brothers and Disney originally put their stuff day and date on the streaming services, they stopped and they only put it on digital now like Universal, and then we'll wait a little bit to put it on the streaming services at no extra cost. And Universal, of course, also has a Universal. Did Sony just officially release the Kraven trailer? Forget it. Forget it. I don't care. All right, so I mean, it's just ridiculous. All right, so I mean, I don't know if they officially released it, but if they did, whatever, man. All right, I'm in the middle of a stream. All right, so anyway, so frustrating. All right, so not you, Brandon, but like the whole situation. Okay, so anyway. So Universal has been doing this, and it's been going very. So we thought they must be going well for them to continue to do it, and it's going extremely well. So late last week, Universal did a big story with the New York Times. The secret's out. They've made $1 billion in the past 3 years. Isn't that just incredible? $1 billion off of this release strategy. So they talked about how they did it. So, and I'm not only going to talk to you about how they did it, but I'm going to tell you some of the numbers they released for how much money they made off of specific movies. So Universal, that's right, billion with a B, the Dark Savior, billion with a B. So they found that even though they were shortening the release window, theatrical release window, Mika says that Sony only released the poster. So maybe the trailer will be tomorrow. Still frustrating. Anyway. All right, so they found that even though they were shortening the release window and putting these movies on digital, that there was no decrease in ticket sales. Isn't that incredible? No decrease in ticket sales. You guys, please stay on topic. I'm not going to stop the stream and go and watch the Kraven trailer. Okay. So, there was no decrease in ticket sales, which I thought was really impressive. And then also they said in some cases, ticket sales would go up. Ticket sales actually went up because they feel that because of the advertising they were doing for the digital, that would increase maybe people's awareness. And also someone would tell someone, hey, I watched this movie at home, and someone would actually opt to go and watch it in theaters. So I thought that was really interesting. So I think, it truly shows that habits have changed. Although I can't imagine anybody would be like, hey, I could watch this at home, but instead I'm going to go to the theater where it's much more expensive. I mean, maybe people are doing it with their subscription service like AMC A-List or something, but some people are doing that, which is really interesting. So I also think maybe it's because if it's a single person, the price is very different. So the premium price when it first hits digital is $25 to rent, $30 to buy, where you own it. And Universal will add the extras later when it, is a little bit, some time has passed. And then later it drops down to $6 to rent, $20 to buy. Now, here's where it gets even more beautiful. Universal gets 80% of this money, whereas going with theatrical, as William pointed out, they don't get 100%, William. They get 80%. They get 80% of the revenue, with 20% going to whatever service sells it digitally, like iTunes or Vudu from Fandango or Amazon Prime. They get 20%. But that's better than the 50-50 split that shakes out with movie theaters. So, and also a very small portion of the money goes to AMC because AMC, that's one of the reasons that AMC continues to play the movie, because they're getting a portion of the at-home digital as well. So the windows that Universal's been playing with is 17 days for some of the smaller films, and then they go anywhere from 33 days to 41 days. Super Mario Brothers took 41 days to hit digital. But we're going to go over these numbers now, and it makes you wonder, like, what's Fast X making? So it's just really, really interesting. Although Fast X dropped like a rock this past weekend, like doing very poorly. I think Fast X, it might have been undercut. And that's right, Lloyd, that after all this, it hits Peacock. All right, so let's look at these numbers. Get ready to be really impressed. So approximately $1 billion in 3 years. Now, just since May 16th, Super Mario Brothers has brought in $75 million on premium digital. That is amazing. $75 million in like a month. It's just been a month, and it's brought in an extra $75 million from digital alone. Jurassic World Dominion, The Croods 2, and Sing 2 have all made $50 million each, a little over $50 million. Then even something like News of the World, Megan, and 12 other movies have all brought in $25 million plus. And then even small films like Belfast and Mrs. Harris Goes to Paris have brought in $5 million. And they said that all those movies make hardly any money in the theater these days. The theatrical campaign works as advertising for when it does eventually go to digital. So it makes that worth the advertising spend. So this is really incredible. And I think what's interesting about this is that other studios so far have followed the shortened theatrical window. I mean, they followed the digital. I'm sorry. So far, other studios have followed the put it on digital first and then streaming service plan. They didn't mention Puss in Boots, Lloyd Lester, interestingly enough, so I'm not sure what that brought in. The New York Times article didn't cover what Puss in Boots brought in. But I think it's absolute, at least I don't believe so. But I wonder if this means that Disney and Warner Brothers, for instance, will follow the shortened theatrical window as well. Well, something like Elemental, maybe there's a place where it hits digital just after 17 days. Juan Carlos says that should be the rule for awards. It should be for sale and not only streaming if they want a nomination. That would help in residuals for writers. Maybe. That's true. It certainly would. But I do think, there are some Disney movies that have done so poorly that I think people would really love for it to go to digital. So I think that's interesting. I think it's very, 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 very interesting. So that's just something I wanted to share with you because I thought that was just absolutely incredible that Universal was making so much money. And it's really helping the studio, and they're still killing it at the box office. They're the leader of the box office for 2023 so far, thanks to a bunch of really successful films that really connected, and a very diverse slate with a lot of variation. And that's also really smart. Universal is making smaller movies because they know what to do with them. They're like, yeah, we have a strategy. We can make these small B movie pictures like CB and Renfield and Megan because they have a place, and we just can send them to digital after 17 days. So I just think it's really interesting. That's right, Wardrak, the movie space is evolving. So does anybody have any questions that they want to ask about this? Oh yeah, there's the Craven trailer. And it's even Red Band. I'm not reacting to that, forget it. All right, so let me see. Paul says, do you think any other studios would follow that model? I sure do think they would. I think that's just so much money. I think they definitely would. I can't do a Craven trailer reaction on the live stream because it's a Red Band trailer. And so if it were in the live stream, it would negate the live stream. Let's see here. Does anybody have any questions not about the Craven trailer? Dylan says, Grace, is Fast X a flop? Yes, I mean, it could do pretty well overseas, but domestically, it's just a huge flop. Daniel Harati says, how much did The Fabelmans make on digital? I can't look up every movie, unfortunately. I can only tell you the movies that Universal divulged. It's probably in the 12 other movies thing there. Lewis, I'm not covering Craven. Forget it. It's annoying. I got other stuff to do. The whole thing's a mess. Forget it. Let's see here. Chandler says, do you think this has an impact on streaming? I think they don't care because they're not making $1 billion off of their streaming services. In fact, their streaming services are costing them money. This is just $1 billion that Universal gets. That's incredible. My dose is question about Rotten Tomatoes scores. So when a review comes up for a series and it's only 2 episodes, Mido, that has nothing to do with what we're talking about. Let's see here. Innovative David says, random, but during, you guys, you got to ask questions about what we're discussing. If you would like to ask me a question about something else, you can ask me that at the Ask Me Anything section. You guys are out of control today. Okay. Who gifted all those memberships? Waffles Daddy gifted 10 memberships. That's so kind of you. Thank you. All right. So let's just go to the third story of the day. Okay. All right. Boop. Or boom, 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 baby. I'm quickly losing a lot of enthusiasm. You guys are driving me crazy. Okay. All right, so, woohoo, I'm a professional. Let's go. Third story of the day. If you want to ask me something that has nothing to do with what we're discussing, I'm not answering you until the end of the section and the Q&A. Hey, Gilberto. Welcome to the live stream. It's a little bit off today. All right, so this was a story that broke also last week. This is the Golden Globes. The Golden Globes had a really serious, crazy situation, okay? So, of course, as you know, the Hollywood Foreign Press Association was founded in 1943. And the year after, they started the Golden Globes. So the Golden Globes have been around since 1944. And for a very long time, the Golden Globes started the award season and the Oscars finished it. And that was the way it was set up. And it was quite successful for a long time. But then everybody else wanted their own awards show because you could start to televise them and then you could sell advertising on it. And so it became a whole industry. And it's, I think, become a little bit too bloated. I think by the time the Oscars roll around, you pretty much know who's going to win. And I think it's a bit of a mess overall. But then the Golden Globes really stepped in it because, of course, they had one of the reasons the Golden Globes was also so successful is they were pretty good predictors of who was going to win the Oscar. So if you often won the Golden Globe, you became a strong frontrunner for the Oscars. But at the same time, since they split it into 2 categories, drama and comedy musical, that meant there was still some question as to who was going to win the Oscar, right? So it was almost like more like it narrowed it down. And also because they had 2 categories, more people could be nominated. And they also had a reputation for having a really silly show where they served a lot of alcohol to everybody who was in attendance, and they got some pretty crazy clips that they were able to air. And then also, of course, Ricky Gervais was a very aggressive host, and that brought them even more attention. And so they became like a really big thing. However, then they, of course, got caught up in a serious scandal. Everybody knew for a very long time that there were problems with the Hollywood Foreign Press Association, just like everybody in Hollywood knew there were lots of problems. Oh, thanks, Marduk. Knew there were lots of problems everywhere. But then, Me Too happened and all this stuff. No, Gladiator Nacho was actually at the Oscars, believe it or not. But yeah, I think that people started to no longer cover up for other people in the industry. And the Hollywood Foreign Press Association got in serious, serious trouble. The Hollywood Foreign Press Association got in trouble for 2 reasons. One, not only were they being subject to bribery, which everybody knew about, but people didn't know about was that they were paying some of their members like $1 million. For ridiculous jobs. They were it was a huge scheme. So they were calling themselves a nonprofit organization, but they were giving everybody, they had limited members, and they were giving their members $1 million or huge salaries. Like someone was just supposed to run the website or check something on the website, and they were getting like $300,000 a year. That's right, Denzel laughs at Emily in Paris. That's true. Emily in Paris infamously flew the Hollywood Foreign Press Association to Paris to visit the set and put them up in like a really expensive hotel because it was easy to bribe the Hollywood Foreign Press Association because they were a small group of members. So you could easily do that. Whereas, every other awards organization has so many members, you couldn't possibly get them. Although, of course, Harvey Weinstein infamously would target retirement homes where they had a bunch of Academy voters, and he would target them that way. So, and then of course it was drawn to everybody's attention that they had absolutely no diversity despite being a global organization. So they were saying they represented the world, and yet they did not have a single, I think at the time, they did not have a single black member. And so they got into a lot of trouble. It was really bad. Tom Cruise returned his Golden Globes, of course, as everybody knows. And NBC canceled the show. They said, we're not going to air you. In 2022, there was no telecast. And Critics' Choice, by the way, full disclosure of which I'm a member, I'm a voting member of the Critics' Choice Awards. Critics' Choice Awards moved in on the CW. I believe they aired on the CW, and they tried to take over for the Golden Globes. It didn't quite totally work out, although I do think the Critics' Choice has risen a little bit in people paying attention to it. But really no one's been able to fill in for the Golden Globes. So the Golden Globes tried to come back this year. You might recall they had a telecast on NBC. It was on a Tuesday because Critics' Choice had taken their Sunday. Mika, I don't think SAG would work because it's only in the acting categories. And they have weird categories. And I don't think it's going to work. And it didn't. I think the ratings were not great. And I think they just showed that the show just wasn't going to be able to come back from the controversy. So this is what they've decided to do. Thanks, Frankenstein RC. So what they've decided to do is that they sold the Golden Globes Awards show to Dick Clark Productions, which is now owned by Eldridge, which owns like every major entertainment news publication in the world. And so we'll talk about that in a moment. But then the Hollywood Foreign Press Association is disbanding. It's not going to exist anymore. They are going to continue their charity work, and the money that they earned for selling the Golden Globes to Dick Clark and Eldridge will instead go to their charity organization, and they will do something with that. So the Hollywood Foreign Press Association is wiped from the face of the earth. They no longer exist. That is a huge change. That show's been around since 1944, and it's gone. That's like 80 years. So that's just really, really incredible. So now a lot of people are wondering, who's going to vote for the Golden Globes now? What will be the voting body? And a part of me wonders if it will be the publications and the journalists who work for what Eldridge owns. And I think that would give those publications more power, more cachet, and I wouldn't be surprised, but I don't know how people would react to that. All right, so these are the publications that they own. They own Variety, The Hollywood Reporter, and Deadline. All three trades are owned by the same company, which I think is very interesting. So there's that. Then they also own Gold Derby, which is an awards site. I can see that being very involved in this. It already has the name Gold in it. IndieWire, Rolling Stone, and Rolling Stone as well. That is a lot. So I'll be curious to see what they decide to do with this. I do feel that basically there's too many awards shows. I would try to cut them down. And I still continue to say they should move up the Oscars. I think the Oscars are way too late. And then by that time, everybody feels they've watched a gabillion awards shows. And so nobody cares anymore. So let's see what they decide to do. But I'll be very curious. I think the reason, again, that the Golden Globes were so popular, though, was because of their ability to predict the actual winners. Although was that because they won, and they got so much publicity. And I don't know if NBC is going to continue to air this, although, of course, they still air New Year's Rockin' Eve. That's ABC. So I wonder if the Golden Globes will move to ABC. I don't know if they're locked into a contract and if this would consider the contract being done. That's fascinating. All right, so yes, those are the three stories. Now it's the Q&A. Commence the pandemonium. I appreciate your guys' enthusiasm, but I really want to be able to make sure that the live stream is coherent and watchable to people who are not watching it live. And so when you distract me like that, it makes this thing unwatchable going forward. So that's just something to pay attention to. Aiden says, sorry for being off topic. Oh, that's okay. I just get frustrated. You know, Media Lover says, is it possible to pinpoint the turning point for the start of DC's downfall? I just want to move on, you know? I think it's too political. Bear Like Fire says, are you watching Black Mirror? I watched only the first episode, which I thought was medium. Joan is awful. I thought it was okay. Finky says, those Secret Invasion interviews were shocking. How are you doing? I'm fine. I thought they turned out great because they were at least very interesting. And I'm glad that you guys enjoyed them. You know, that meant a lot to me. Will R. says the Golden Globes should still be aired for entertainment. But the question is, who are they entertaining? Because nobody really has been watching them. Oh, Billy, thank you for that. That's very nice of you. Heather S. says we need an awards show shakeup. I would agree with that. Arun says, hey, Grace, I see a lot of YouTubers now beating the full reboot drum because of the Flash box office. Glad you knew that was needed from the beginning. Thank you, Arun. I've always been team full reboot, and I always said it would haunt them if they didn't do it. And I feel pretty confident in that. Thanks, Lloyd. Let's see here. Chad says, Grace, you missed my super chat. Is it possible that Universal can beat Disney this year for the overall? Yes, I think it's very possible, Chad. Very, very possible. Justin Alexander says, what's going to happen to James Gunn now? Well, I think he's going to be allowed to make Superman Legacy. And it'll all hinge on that. He's going to get a very quick answer to how people feel about him at DC. Buck's Basement says, any chance ATSV gets more screens after the... Yeah, Buck. So Buck's Basement is wondering if Across the Spider-Verse might get more premium screens because of the Flash not doing well. I think more Elemental might get more of them, and maybe Spider-Verse could. I know that... from what I'm seeing, Flash is holding on to IMAX, but I think Dolby's still a little bit up in the air. Let's see here. Innovative David, that's very generous of you. That's very nice. My apologies about my last super chat. Should have waited until the end. That's okay. With the end of June approaching, will we be getting our annual top 10 best worst movies? We sure will, Innovative David. I have those down to do around the 4th of July holiday because things will be very slow then too. And that's very kind of you, David. Thank you. Toby says, how far into Star Wars Rebels are you? I've watched the first 4 episodes of season 2. Somebody gave me an abridged list to what I've been looking at, the cheat sheet, and they highlighted some episodes. And I did love the clones from the Clone War episodes that I've seen. So I did watch the second 2 episodes of season 2 so that I could catch up with Captain Rex and company. Vlad says, hi, Grace. Did you watch the Netflix live-action One Piece trailer? It's the most popular manga series of all time. Might be worth covering. Thanks for putting that on my radar. I did not see that. I'll take a look. Hey, Lee Dawson. Thanks for joining. Arthur says, I sent 2 super chats on your second story. I'm sorry. How can Universal prove that their digital strategy doesn't impact the ticket sales? Well, I mean, they'll never know for sure, Arthur. They might have made even more money. But I think the issue is that they're making so much money at the box office. As I said, they're still number 1 for the year. So, I mean, that means they're doing well. Good to see you live too, Billy. That's so nice. Hi, Billy. Your hair looks fire. You look great. Josh says, thank you, Grace and BTT family. I lost my father due to self-harm. Oh, I'm so sorry, Josh. And it has been hard, but you all have really helped me keep my mind off everything. I'm so sorry to hear about your father, Josh, particularly so close to Father's Day. I'm glad that you are looking after yourself, and I hope your family is holding together well, and I'm glad that we can be here for you. Christopher Holmes says, Grace, what do you think the future of awards shows will really look like? Red carpets, expensive commercial advertisements, importance? I think people care less and less. The general public cares less and less, and that's a real problem. Dancing Dog 60, thank you for gifting 5 memberships. And then Dancing Dog 60 says, Grace, should Gunn, Warner Brothers just send Blue Beetle and Aquaman to Max and just say, wait until Superman, folks? Yep, that's what I would have done. I said that a while ago. I would definitely do that. Dylan says, what do you feel about the marriage of Tony Stark and Emma Frost on the comics? That's funny, Dylan. This morning I saw that tweet and I was scrolling through the replies because I hate it, although they both look amazing. And I hated it. And somebody had responded with a meme of me. And it was my exact actual reaction in real life to that tweet. And so I responded to that. I thought that was funny. Oh, wow. Josh gifted 10 memberships in his grief. Josh, that's very kind of you to do, to share that. And I can see that Gareth also gifted 10 memberships. Oh, thanks, guys. That's very sweet of you. Let me see if I got everything here. Voice Inject says, hi from Toronto. Hello. All right, hold on. I'm trying to get everything here. Christian and Joe says, hey, Grace, we are currently listening on our way back from our Father's Day road trip. We also listened to your live on Friday on the way up. I bookended your trip. How was your Father's Day? Thanks for being awesome. We had a great time. We watched Extraction 2, which my dad thought was only medium, I'm afraid to say, even though I loved it again. And then we went to dinner, and he loved his gifts, so that was really fun. We had a great time. Let's see here. Waffles Daddy says, I was having a very sad weekend, so just wanted to say thank you for the live stream today. Oh, I'm sorry, Waffles. I'm sorry. I'm glad you're feeling better. It's always, there's always fun around the corner. You just got to stay positive. Antonio Garrett says, and thank you, Antonio. That's great of you. I like your picture. Are you wearing BTT merch? Is that BTT merch in your photo? I love it. Are you aware that Shiv Roy, Ray Fisher, Anthony Mackie, and the new Black Panther all appear on Black Mirror? I know some of them do. Black Mirror gets some pretty amazing casts. Oh, Antonio, I have to say, I think that's the Christmas BTT merch. You look great. You totally made my day. That was so sweet of you. Let's see here. And then Lee Riddle says, hi, Grace. What do you think Sasha Calle's odds are on starring in the upcoming Supergirl movie? 0. I think she just hopes she can stay employed. I'll react to the Craven trailer after this, but I'm not going to break it down. Let's see here. Oh, Dujan just asked that. No. Let's see here. Aaron says, good afternoon, Grace. Me and my boyfriend just finished The Diplomat. Why was Carrie Russell never cast as Sue Storm? I loved The Diplomat, but I'm afraid to say I don't think she'd be a good Sue Storm. But I like her a lot. Hey, Aaron, thanks for joining. Let's see here. Matt says, would you ever consider watching Jedi Fallen Order and Jedi Survivor cutscenes? Peak Star Wars, and the characters are likely coming to live action. I believe they are coming to live action. And when they do, I will probably watch that stuff. Let's see here. Let's see. Celestine says, one day can you do a poll about the ages of your viewers? Just curious. Celestine, I know you were curious. Lee, thank you for gifting 5 memberships. Today's the day, Celestine. We'll do it today. I know you felt a little self-conscious, so sure, we'll do a poll, an unscientific poll. It'll be great. Let me put it in right now. And you don't have, this is anonymous, so maybe that'll help. But you don't have to answer if you don't want to. What are the ages? Oh, what age range are you in? If you'd care to share. And we'll do 45 plus. We'll do under 18. Then we'll do 18 to 24, movie theater demographics. 24 to 36, I think it goes. No, we'll do 24 to 45, and then 45 plus, because I only got 4 things. There we go. Okay. Okay. Voice Inject says, prediction for Flash second weekend drop. We're in uncharted waters here, Voice Inject, but I think it's going to be funny. Zazzy says, will you ever add anime to your animation catalog? I feel like you would really like Attack on Titan. I only have so much time to be able to watch stuff, so it's a little tough, Tammy says, Grace, crazy stream today. Just wanted to say thanks for 10 months of crazy. Oh, and you're 52 years old. That's great to hear, Tammy. I'm sure Celestine appreciates you sharing that, Tammy. You're generous in many ways today, Tammy. Joshua says, should we expect an announcement about Jonathan Majors soon? Well, his court date's coming up, right? Oh, look, Antonio gifted 20 memberships in his BTT merch outfit. Antonio, you're a sweetheart. All right, I think I missed some stuff here. Hold on. I feel bad. I'm missing some stuff here. Hold on. I think I said thank you to Lee for the 5 memberships. Thank you. Oh, Heather said hugs for Josh. That's very sweet. Hold on. In a minute, I'm going to answer some questions from non-supers because Clark says, I just want to say I found your videos a few weeks ago about Little Mermaid, and I love all of them and your attitude throughout. Keep it up. Oh, thanks, Clark. Welcome to the party. I'm so happy to hear that. And Jacob said, I'm sad you haven't always used Ezra's pronouns during flash coverage. I understand during a live stream, but in edited video, it feels intentional. I've been pretty good using those pronouns, Jacob, or using Miller. So I think that I've been like pretty on it. Rashad says, what would it take to get a yellow tomato on Rotten Tomatoes? I think it would mess up their system. Like, how would they do the percentage? I think that's the issue. Let's see here. I like SMR Goose saying forever young at heart. That's a great answer. We're all Peter Pan. Let's see here. All right, let me do the poll. Thank you, Nicholas, for gifting those memberships. Zaire, I never watched The Idol. It just looked bad to me. Thanks, Cowboy Kush. That's a nice thing to say, and I appreciate the rose. All right, let me close. Oh, who just gifted some? Nicholas gifted those memberships. Let me end the poll, and then let me answer some non-super questions. So the majority are 24 to 45, followed by 18 to 24. 11% are 45 plus, and then there are 3% of you that are under 18. That's great. What a nice group. We have everybody. So Celestine, I hope that makes you feel, I hope you feel good about that. Let's see here. Sion says, hey Grace, just drove past the set of House of the Dragon today in Wales, saw a huge green dragon head. Oh, that's awesome. I'm so excited for that show. All right, let's see. Let's see here. Reese says, Ezra was the best part of The Flash. Yeah, I liked the movie. But, it's not doing well. I mean, that's the end of it. Let's see here. William says, how does the gifting memberships work? Oh, well, when you're watching the stream, you see the dollar sign there? If you want to gift some memberships, you click on the dollar, and one of the options is membership gifting. And then you can give whatever you feel comfortable with. Oh, buona sera to you in Italy, Dennis. I love Italy. Italy's lovely. We went to an Italian restaurant for Father's Day yesterday. Hey, Adam. Let's see here. Has Craven been moved to 2025? I got to look. Oh, look, Auntie Deborah says, I'm a member now. Thank you, Waffles Daddy. Oh, that's so great. I love it. That's right, Waffles Daddy is a sugar daddy. Let's see here. Michael says, did you receive the Bear screeners? I might have, but I'm just going to watch it on Thursday. I don't review that show, but I certainly enjoy the heck out of it. I might tweet about it. Let's see here. Frosty Salt said, what are the chances of Warner Brothers releasing Batgirl? 0. I think they'd have to give back the tax money. Dylan says, how and where would you like to see Teddy Hulkling introduced in the MCU? I just want him to show up. I'm very worried. The Young Avengers are coming. They are coming so soon. And he's not on the board. That Wiccan fan said, had heard anything about the Young Avengers in the MCU or coming back to the comics? I hope we see Hulkling in the MCU, especially with Wiccan there. They better. The Young Avengers will be teased by the end of the year. That's all I'll say. Let's see here. Lewis Crickmore says, when do you think we might see a first teaser look at Wicked? Probably sometime over the summer, I would think. I don't know if that's a Comic-Con type movie, but, sometime. Trevor, did I miss your super chat? I don't see it. Ray Black says, any predictions for the new Jennifer Lawrence movie? I'm seeing it on tomorrow. I'm seeing it tomorrow evening, and I will review it on Wednesday now for sure, because there's no Craven trailer on Wednesday anymore. Oh, let's see here. Oh, Media Lover. I'm glad Heartstopper 2 is gearing up for season 2. I'm excited for that. I love that show. Oh, Dennis wants to know what I ate at the Italian restaurant. Oh, I had a delicious shrimp appetizer, which was warm shrimp in like a interesting sauce, which was quite delicious. And then I had my favorite dish, linguine and clams. It's my favorite. Let's see here. Dylan Reese, Grayson Alt Teaser says, do you think Elizabeth Olsen will win an Emmy for Love and Death? I don't. I think that show just never gained any traction, which is unfortunate. Voice Inject says, I've never tried clam. Oh, it's delicious. So good. Clams and pasta are very tasty. Oh, but Jamie's allergic. Mika says, what will your upcoming Comic-Con coverage look like? It's going to be a surprise. I'm not going to give it away, but I'm pretty excited about this year. And Randy says, discovered this place during COVID, the only channel I joined. That means a lot, Randy, and I really appreciate that. Thank you. Thank you so much. And Dylan says, should we lower our expectations for Secret Invasion? Heck yeah, but I'm not going to trash it in my breakdowns because that's just not a nice thing to do. But I think it's pretty bad. I'm not going to Comic-Con. No, I'm not going to Comic-Con. I don't go to Comic-Con. It's not worth the money. Because I'm independent, so I'd have to pay my own way. And I told you, so the last time I went to Comic-Con, the videos that performed best were filmed in my hotel room. So I was like, why am I here? And a lot of people go to socialize, but I'm working so much, I have no time to socialize. So I didn't see anybody. I just was in my hotel room making videos. And I would occasionally go to the Comic-Con convention to do interviews, but the stuff that did best was from my hotel room. So I was like, why am I paying to do all this? All right, I better get going. I better react to the Kraven trailer. I'll react to it. Harlequin Dove says, I actually read 2 articles saying that Majors was fired and they have scrambling to recast. I don't know. I would think I would have heard if he was fired. But maybe, it's not outside the realm of possible. All right. I love you crazy guys. I'm glad you were so enthusiastic today in the chat. Let me do a couple of shout outs. I appreciate you guys being so nice. Let's see here. Oh, look, Jamie's enjoying my one day off. I'm glad you spent part of it with us. That's so nice. You work on Broadway? That's awesome. I love Broadway. Novastar, I wonder why your super chat isn't working. That's weird. Galberto, that's very kind. You guys are all very nice. No, Angel, just fed my doggies, and I'm sitting here having a protein oatmeal. Good for you. Good for you. That's very healthy. I have not had any sugar. I've really changed my diet. And I cannot tell you how much I'm basically on the Mediterranean diet, if you want to look it up. And it's like changed my life already. And I've just been on it for like 3 weeks. Hey, Haunted Autumn. And I guess part of me is like upset that it took me so long to do it. So I highly recommend it. And I want to share it with you because I wish someone had told me. I actually did it because somebody who's a very close friend of mine really strongly recommended it, and I'm glad I listened. So I want to pay it forward. Try the Mediterranean diet. Mr. Andrew says, from Barcelona, enjoying it's still light at 9 p.m.? That's amazing. You have a great day too, Robbie. You too, Jesse the Good Witch. I hope you have a great day. Rob says, I'm not doing work for summer courses. But it's okay. I needed this break. Yeah, you need to take a break. It's good for you. Lucas says, working on tech support, listening to the stream. Where did that go? Was feeling a bit down today, but you guys cheered me up. Aw, yay! I'm glad, Lucas. That makes me happy. And Britt has a new kitten. Oh, that's adorable in Brooklyn. Danny says, Grace, I love your merchandise. I would love to have it, but I don't think they deliver to Guatemala. I'm pretty sure we deliver everywhere, so you can see. Harlequin Dove says, what is a Mediterranean diet? A Mediterranean diet basically is no sugar, no caffeine, and no carbs that aren't whole wheat, and no red meat. I think I thanked everybody. Randy gifted 5 memberships. I didn't see that. Thank you, Randy. And Haunted Autumn, I think I saw that. And Mark Chapman says, hi, Grace. I'm currently in Twin Peaks in San Francisco taking a lunch, enjoying a great view, and listening to your live. The perfect lunch break. It makes me feel so nice that I'm in San Francisco with you. That's lovely. I'm glad you're having a nice time. Well, Ubersend is watering their plants in Marseille. Love from France. I love Paris. I love France. I've been to France twice. It's beautiful. That's right, Elia. Natural sugars are okay, like fruit, and I had a glass of orange juice this morning. Michael gifted 10 memberships. Oh, thank you. That's so kind of you. Oh, Ninja Twink. What a great name. Says, thank you for this wonderful community. Grace for Mayor. That's very nice of you to say that. Robbie says, Grace, I also read comics. I have $100 a week graphic novel addiction. Robbie, you should join Comixology. Comixology is phenomenal. It's only like $6 a month, and you would get a lot of graphic novels for free included with that. It's like a streaming service for comic books. I love it. I have it. Mikey Bray is in Yorkshire, UK, enjoying my homemade strawberry and peach crumble. Oh, that sounds delightful. And I love the use of emojis. And Daniel said, what did Daniel say? Booking my trip to the Venice Film Festival. Ooh, that's delightful. I've been to Venice. What a lovely city when it's not underwater. And Jay King says, I hope everyone has a wonderful summer. Oh, that's great. Yes, it's just beginning. And Omar got a membership. Oh, yay, that's so great. And No Angel says, my first contribution. Oh, that's very generous of you, No Angel. Happy Pride. Happy Pride to you, for sure. And Jen gave 5 memberships. Wow, you guys are so generous. You guys always blow me away with your generosity. You guys are so nice. All right. You guys are the best. I love you guys. Yeah, you guys are so great. All right, so I'm going to go react to that Craven trailer. Thank you for spending time with me, as always. There will be 3 streams this week, for sure. I thought there might not be a stream on Wednesday because of the Craven trailer, but now maybe there will be. Okay, my whole schedule is messed up. All right. I love you guys. I love you so much. I'll see you soon. Okay? Bye. Bye-bye.